360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. It was, you saw those clips from Nigerian athletes preparing for the Paris Olympic Games. On the show this morning, I've got a brother, David Oku, joining me on the show. David Oku, welcome to 360 Sports.
Thank you very much for having me today. Good morning, the viewers. I'm happy to be here with you.
All right, we will start from the Paris Olympic Games, where we are looking at Nigeria athletes, their preparation towards the Paris Olympic Games that is just less than 26 days away from now. Ese Brume, the first story we have this morning is Ese Brume lead Nigerian qualifiers by world rankings prior to the Paris Olympic Games. David Oku, for the Nigerian athletes, most of them, the automatic qualification was really there, but they had to fight for it. And based on the rankings, some of them had lower rankings, but the rankings, as far you are at the top position where that ticket can come through, doesn't really matter. But as a Brume is leading Nigerians qualifiers through the rankings.
Yeah, absolutely impressive. And there's an adage that the little things you do with a lot of energy, you know, when there's a summation of it, could lead to even bigger things. And these athletes have had to pass through this process, so it's rigorous, but they've faced it and taken it by the chin and are going about their business impressively. I thought the other day I saw Toby Amusan in the story too, also doing great, so it means she'll be flying the flag. And then our wrestlers too, you know, if we put them in. And then generally track and field, I believe that we are a nation where track and field is always our strength when we go to Olympics tournaments like these Olympic competitions, or even the IAAF, that's the Diamond League, wherever it's being hosted. I believe this is where we can, you know, stand up and be counted. This is where we can expect podium finishes for our athletes to be there and get the medal. I think that's the target, that's the vision of everything. So for all athletes, or for every athlete who has practiced and has worked so hard for the last 4 years for moments like this, I think this is a period where they come into that last phase of it, you understand me, and they need all the guidance, they need all the support, they need all the good praises to carry them through, you know, into that Olympic Games in Paris. So nice one we are having here from some of the top names, you know, doing well in the qualifiers.
Okay, doing well in the qualifiers. We also have Gostime Idema Egelege joining us on the show via Zoom this morning. Gostime, welcome to 360 Sports. A good one for Team Nigeria, but as a Brume is the one leading the race when it comes to rankings. If you look at what she has done so far, carrying on from 2023 to 2024, I think she has been superb in all of her outings. Can you hear me? Okay, it's as if we're having audio issues from Gostime's end. But if you look at these whole senior, if you look at Nigerian athletes as it stands right now, let's particularly look at Ese Brume. She was one of our medalists at the last Tokyo Olympics, where she came back home with a bronze medal in the long jump. This time around, what is in for her personally?
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't know too much since I'm not close, you know, but when these athletes are being asked questions, wherever the opportunity arises, you find out that a lot of them still believe they can do greater things or best their current record, which is what I expect from every athlete, you know, to do. So for Ese Brume, a bronze medal in the last Olympics, I believe this time she would love to improve on that. Not just silver, but go on and win gold and do it in record time. To compete with the best is the greatest feeling you ever have as an athlete, you know, going into competitions. Competing with the best of the best in the world is what we should be, you know, aspiring for. It's what we should be setting targets for. And I don't think Ese Brume is setting anything less for herself.
Okay, you don't think Ese Brume is setting anything less for herself? The Paris Olympic Games is less than 26 days away from now, and we will be seeing athletes doing battle at the games in France, Paris. But congratulations to Ese Brume and every other athlete, and for Ese Brume herself, leading our qualifiers with that world rankings standings, and good one for her. All right, still talking about the Paris Olympic Games. On the show, we're looking at the preparation of Team Nigerian to these particular games. We'll go over to the next story, where Nigerian Olympic Athletes Commission will hold annual forum for the contingents before jetting out of the country. Is for this particular body to see how our athletes can have maximum performance and podium finish at the Paris event. This forum will hold between 8th and 9th of July before they will depart the country for 2024 Paris Olympic Games.
Yeah, that's the final touches. See, you need polishing before you go out there to the biggest of stages, and I believe this forum would give them the opportunity, to tie the knots, cross the T's and dot the I's ahead of that trip to Paris. And then again, look at our outing there with the flag and all of this representing. Usually at the beginning of the Olympics, the opening ceremony, we all know how robust and colorful it can be. So I believe this is the place where one or two final messages will be given to people who would be doing these roles. And there's so much, players or athletes travel with their trainers, coaches. It's a whole country, that is going to Paris. I mean, a lot of people must have booked their tickets, be it match tickets or games tickets or whatever ticket, and then visas are processing at this period. So it's a big event, or the Olympic Games, and I don't expect anything less. So the forum affords them the opportunity to, just finish everything.
Yes, just finish everything. Ghost time. Let's see if Ghost time is ready for us. We talked about Brumen, the first story, where she's leading the qualifiers with the world rankings with quite a number of points. She tops Nigerian athletes for Paris Olympic Games. What do you make of Brumen? Since last year to this time, she has been superb and quite impressive in her outings. Okay, the quality. Okay, we're having signal issues from Ghost Time's end. Please just have to correct that. But let's still talking about the Olympics in general. How well do you think we are prepared for these games?
Well, some of the athletes I saw at first hand during the African Games in Accra, Ghana, I saw something impressive about them, and I saw athletes who want to better themselves, Even when some of them didn't finish on podium, they still had that swagger about them. Yeah, leading the charge for us when it comes to medal, if there are any hopes, of course, I've mentioned athletics, track and field. You understand? Toby Amusa and Brume needs to be put there. I think these are, women who have done something great for us, reminiscent of the Mary Onyalis of this world, the Choma Jumwas, if we want to compare them, draw parallels. So I believe we are in a good situation. We can better what we had in Tokyo. We can better that because over time, after that 4 years, we've had some of the athletes, doing better. There's a weightlifter or a shot putter in Equity.
Yes, shot put.
So also in the medals, Sade Olatoye also in the medals bracket.
We have Namdi in javelin. We have Choma Onyekwere and Numba in discus.
You know all these names, So I believe we can do better than we did before. These athletes need support. These athletes need better conditioning. These athletes would need things to happen when it's supposed to happen and not an 11th hour rush. Because if we go down to an 11th hour rush, psychologically it's going to affect the athlete, and we do not want what we saw, that show of shame on the streets of Tokyo, to repeat itself again. Yes, because if we do not learn from history, then
it's going to repeat itself.
Yeah, it's bound to repeat itself and give us a bite on the backside. So we need to put things in order. You know how this thing goes. Finances are usually one of the setbacks. The time of delivery of the finance is a problem. So taking it through the office of the AG of the federation and the signatures and everything, if the money is disbursed, it should be put, to proper usage. at the right time so that the athletes themselves can go in there in a relaxed atmosphere. Imagine if you have an event coming up in the next 1-2 hours and you're not stressed. You're just there warming up on the other side, warming up, doing some rub downs, listening to your music on Spotify. You know, you go in there like a champion.
Of course,
you're not
and do so well.
Yeah, you're not fazed by the opponent. You just go in there and give your best.
Okay, just go in there and give your best. For the Nigerian Olympic Athletes Commission, they will hold that forum for all Team Nigerian athletes, all our contingents going for the Paris Olympic Games on the 8th and 9th of July before they leave the shores of this country. We are still looking at Team Nigeria preparation prior to this a big event. Olympic is one of the biggest sporting event, if not the biggest sporting event in the world. Not it is the biggest sporting event in the world. We are still looking at that. On the course of the show, we'll be looking at all of Team Nigerian preparation till after the Olympics, their participation till after the Olympics, before you hear us not talk about some of these games on our show. But let's go over to this story. The course of the week in Yenagoa, they were unveiled, and the president of that federation, that is the Nigerian Wrestling Federation, President Daniel Igali, is hopeful that Nigerian wrestlers will do well at the Paris Olympic Games. Also, the last Olympics, we got a medal, silver medal from, that is Blessing Obudurudu in wrestling Tokyo. Herself and Ese Brume were the only two Nigerians that got medals back home for us.
I believe the contingent is hungry. The last one was hungry, but this one is hungrier. So we need to best what we did in Tokyo when it comes to wrestling. And I believe we're passionate about this sport here in Nigeria. What the guy is doing is a good job so far. You know, I believe with his own history and everything.
As a wrestler
too. Those who are working under him or those he's nurturing and have brought up would only need to look at him, you know, to replicate that sort of form. I say to people, do not look too far away. For those you want to mentor, you look at what they have done before. If it is what you are looking or seeking to achieve, then go ahead and emulate. You need to leave all others. Look at what he has done, you know, what he has bested in over the years, and you take, you know, the instructions, you take the learnings, you take the teachings very well, and try to better yourself with that mentorship.
Yes, better yourself with that mentorship. For Daniel Igali himself, he was a champion for Canada. That's why he didn't represent this country. But with his wealth of experience, he decided to come back home and invest that experience here in Nigeria. And it has been yielding results for us.
Yes, investment in your country is the only way out that you can give back here to the community. Yes, other ways, let me correct that. There are other ways, but investment is one of the ways, you know, investing in rural sports development, community development. I think these are all things that people should be aspiring to do. And he has finished here. Fine, he must have gone out to gain some valuable experiences and has come back to invest. Investing here means, you know, job opportunities for others who will be working on facilities. Investment here means he will be raking in revenues from one or two things involved with what he's doing. So yeah, it's quite good. Investment at home is good, but again, you need valuable teachings, you need experience. Sometimes you need to just go out there, compete with the best in terms of education. You need more education to add to it, and come back to give.
Yes, and come back to it. Still on the wrestlers, they will be leaving for an event in Spain. After that, the federation has also organized a training tour, as in a camping tour for them in Germany.
Yes, I think some of these wrestlers, when I was around the consulate in Germany, I've seen some of them come in there to submit one or two papers. Yes, they may be going to Spain, but of course, you know, that's the Schengen area. And if you have one, means you can have access to 27 or 28 countries. As, thereabouts. So it's a good feeling. I think everything is progressing well. And let's see how that camp, you know, augurs for them. Let's see how it augurs for them.
Okay, let's see how that camp will go for the Nigerian Wrestling Federation. They are not leaving any stone unturned. They are not leaving anything behind. That is what the president is saying. And he's hopeful that the wrestlers will come back with medals to this country. We'll have 6 of them, 5 females and one male wrestler in the freestyle category. That is Ashton Montour, an athlete, a wrestler who left the shores of United States of America and came back home to represent the country. He was the only male wrestler that got the Olympic ticket during the African qualifiers. All right, let's leave that story and go straight to Mauritius, where Nigeria is also still trying to see how they can better their lot in this particular sport. Talking about rugby. Now we have the African Sevens Cup games ongoing. Nigeria in the first round did do so well, but this time around in the second round, they are looking to do better in the second round of this particular competition, and that is why the Rugby Federation of Nigeria is seeking for support. It's seeking for support for the Black Stallions of Nigeria. The rugby team in Mauritius right now, in the first round, not so good, but they are hopeful the second round will be better for them. And now the federation is seeking for maximum support for the Black Stallions. That is the men's team now in Mauritius, where the Africa Cup 7th is ongoing.
To be honest with you, Fash, I think the sport rugby has failed, to grow at the pace I would have loved. Maybe it's me who is looking too far ahead, because I know the interest was there slowly, but by now, since 5 years ago, while I had a friend who also participated in rugby because he was so interested in it and passionate about it. But again, I don't think it has developed at the pace I would have loved, But seeking for support is always the way to go about it. Seeking for this support, is it not late now? I don't know if it's late now, because this is what was supposed to be on the plate before the rugby competition itself in Mauritius.
Yeah, they finished the first round, and now they are going for the second round.
Okay, so they are maybe seeking for reinforcements.
Yes, of course.
When you have a battery, you need to get a power bank when everything
yes, of course,
is wrong.
where you can actually rely on.
Yes, and reinforce yourself.
Okay, let's quickly look at the Pool C. That is where Nigeria is. Let's look at that group, where we have South Africa, Zimbabwe, and for the second time in this competition, the host will be with Nigeria. If you can have that on the screen. But for Nigeria, if you look at rugby, I think the Black Stallions, though we might be developing at a very slow pace, but what's your take? How can we grow this sport very fast? Okay, we have the pool. We have the fixtures on the screen. That is the second leg. Now we have South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mauritius, Nigeria. Looking at this group, South Africa, #1 team when it comes to rugby in Africa, and they are I think the third best team in the world.
I know about New Zealand also, who's very good with rugby, and Australia.
Yes, of course.
And then South Africa, I believe if we want to go any further, we only need to look at them. We don't need to look too far on how to develop. People should go in there, ask questions, make friends with the South Africans. Everything is about good friendship, and that could lead to business strategies that you could also use to get yourself out of, where you currently are. Make friends with them, be open-minded, drop the pride, you are going there to learn a lot of things to better yourself. So I believe this group is a tough one for us, but as we are managing so far, what we see, let us take. We cannot begin to get ahead of ourselves. Yes, it might be developing at a slow pace, but let's not also forget that rugby is so unpopular here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And then the other sports that are more popular would always have the attention, except maybe rugby is generating or bringing in $10,000 from anywhere, I don't know, for annually or whatever, then possibly they could have everything. But it's an unpopular sport, no disrespect to it. So we don't need to look ahead of our shoulders, but obviously it needs to grow than it's currently going at the moment.
Okay, obviously it just needs to grow. Let's have that grouping back. Let's have the groupings back quickly and see other groups, because if we made it out of that place, we'll be playing teams like Madagascar, Kenya, Zambia, Algeria, who will play in the first round. That is in Pool B. And then in Pool A, we have Uganda, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, and Tunisia. Tunisia was the only team that the Black Stallions defeated in the first round, 19-5. It ended in favor of Nigeria. All right, let's leave the shores of the continent. Let's leave Mauritius and go straight to France in Europe. And we're starting with Ligue 1. We're looking at Super Eagles players on the show this morning, where Moses Simon to resume pre-season with Nantes set for Austria trip. And the pre-season for Nantes comes up today, and Moses Simon is expected to join the team, and then they will be leaving for Austria, where they will be having some pre-season tournament.
Yeah, Austria is a good place, for camping pre-season, recharging your batteries and getting, the foundation, the groundwork ready for the new season. I believe those who are currently in the European Championships will be given an extended break, or, maybe a week or two before they could join pre-season if France has anyone from Nantes, It's been a club where Moses have shone like a 1 in millions. His injury, came at a bad time for him, but happily he has recovered well, and joining up with pre-season can only put him there to do more hard work, because coming back from injury, it's not always easy for footballers. They need to do all of the hard work that you would not see in the gym, especially for muscle conditioning, for that place to heal properly, So coming in here for pre-season with Nantes, I think it's a good one for him, and Moses is one of our important players in the Super Eagles, and we'll be needing him to hit the ground running before the next round of international break.
Okay, before the next round of international break, do you think we actually missed his services during the qualifiers? Where it was not really a good story for the Super Eagles.
Yes, we missed his pace, we missed his trickery, we missed his tracking back, because he's a player who plays on the wing and loves to help the defense out. So we missed that industry from him. Yes, a little bit might not happen the way we want, but obviously, we missed Moses Simon, and I expect him to be back to come into the fold and give us that experience, because this is a time Nigeria needs experience. It's not about running from pillar to post. Look at other other countries around the world. They have players who are in the twilight of their career. If they are not on the bench, they are in the starting 11 to give guidance and to provide that experience that you need under pressure.
Okay, to provide that experience you need under pressure. Now, let's look at Super Eagles a little bit. This whole issues that has been going on with, because I've not really had you to speak on this on this particular issue, but for Super Eagles, what's the way forward? Where do we go from here?
I thought Super Eagles this year have been impressive to some extent. They went into a tournament even with the plethora of stars on their disposal, but were not really given a chance. But they tried to defy the odds in Cote d'Ivoire, and they finished in a respectable second position without the host turning on the screws on them in the second half. I thought they would have won that trophy, the AFCON. You do not really judge, or you do not judge teams by the trophies they win, because if that's the yardstick, then obviously that's not football. So finishing in second was a good thing for them. I thought they would have maintained what they had after finishing in second position, maintaining what they had in terms of the player personnel, in terms of the coaching crew, in terms of everything that made them successful. You do not just throw away what made you successful and go for something else. It doesn't work like that in football. We all know what longevity can do for football teams. Longevity in terms of the personnel, longevity in terms of the gaffer, longevity in terms of tactics. I can tell you that in the last 2-3 years, Nigeria has had more than 4 people, at the helm of affairs of the Super Eagles coaching job. And that is unacceptable. The anyhowness that is happening in the glass house needs to stop with basic things like this, because this is what is costing us. How do you have a tournament as the AFCON with the gaffer so disciplined there and the guys being disciplined over 7 games, and you throw that away? And all of a sudden, there's no more discipline. All of a sudden, we are hearing stories that players are indisciplined. So what happened to the players who were disciplined in January and February? Where did they throw that away to? It has to do with the guidance. If you do not guide, then it doesn't work out well for you.
Okay, if it doesn't guide, it will not work out well for you. Let's quickly go over some NPFL videos and see if maybe we can see some players definitely for the Super Eagles. We'll look at some NPFL games. The one you're seeing is Remo Stars game. Let's just have some of those NPFL video, and we will be right back with more stories on the program.
The Grand Star for 2024.
It was the Southwest Derby to kick off the 2024 year for the Sky Blue Stars, Remo Stars, as Remo Stars welcome Sunshine Stars to the Remo Stars Stadium in Ikene. Coach Daniel Gumolede had some changes to the starting lineup, as Unduka Jr. was missing due to suspension, with Fabian Nwori coming into the lineup, while Dela Akoli replaced Samad Kadiri in the front line. "22 minutes into the Southwest Derby, Sikuralimi benefited from a loose ball in the area, cutting into his weak foot before clipping the ball onto the crossbar. As the host stadium thought the ball would be headed into the back of the net. Remo Stars pressed their opponent backwards as Sajide Fatukun found Sikuralimi, who dribbled two white shirts before laying on to the right hand side for Sadiq Ismail, whose cross was tied by Shirin Gobide off his volley. On the half-hour mark, Remo Stars poured forward one more time. This time, a shot from Dayojo was well defended by the Sunshine Stars team. Few minutes before the break, Sikuralimi was found in the area shooting, but clearing off was the Sunshine Stars defense before Sadiq Ismail's cross was headed wide by the Remo Stars team. Into the second half, Coach Daniel Gumolede had substitute Adam Salam Lekon on the pitch before the winger beat his man beautifully, calling one straight for the first shot on target in the second half for Remo Stars, with the goalkeeper parrying his effort. Danger not yet averted for the visiting team, as Dayojo headed wide from a cross, but the referee had flagged off for offside. A quick combinational play from Remo Stars had Ahmed Akinyele laying on to Jide Fatukun, who quickly found Sadiq Ismail, but the right back cross was heading straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Remo Stars again combined beautifully with 5 minutes on the hour mark. This time a cross was met by Adam Salam Lekon, who could only shoot straight at the goalkeeper. Sunshine Stars had a rare opportunity at goal, this time shooting wide of the area of Bankole Kayode. In the mood and ready to play was Adam Salam Lekon, who again beat his man in the box before laying one to Dayojo, with the midfielder shooting and the defense of Sunshine Stars clearing off the line again. Adam Salam Lekon continued to be a thorn on the flesh of the visitor, as this time he met a cutback from Sadiq Ismail before blazing wide. The corner kick opportunities will continue to come for Remo Stars with 15 minutes left of the derby to play, with a score at goalless. Adams continued his fine form in the game, finding Sikuralimi, and a Gurban scramble saw Adams hitting wide for a goal kick. 5 minutes left of the 90, Remo Stars again pushing for the opener in the Southwest Derby. Sadiq Ismaili, with his delicate cross, found his own teammate in the box, who laid it to Dayojo. Dayojo, taking a one-time shot, would only shoot wide, just as they did in the last home game. On a stroke of 90 minutes, Anyeke Meokon benefited from a scramble in the box off a corner kick to stab home the first goal for the Sky Blue Stars. 1-0 to Remo Stars, and again the fans in absolute bedlam. It was Anyeke Meokon's third goal of the NPFL season. Not done yet, Anyeke Meokon, after a beautiful play from Remo Stars and a flick on from Sikuralimi, drew home the second goal of the evening. If the first goal was good enough, how about this for a second goal of a beautiful combinational movement from the Sky Blue Stars team? Sikuralimi with an assist for Anyeke Meokon's fourth goal of the season. and a brace in a Southwest derby. 2-0 to Remo Stars. The Southwest King are at it again. The referee, having seen enough of an exciting 100 minutes of football, called play to a halt for 3 points for the coach Daniel Ogmodade.
Provide the firepower for Rangers International, and here we go. Obache with the ball starts. Savio with the ball. Sends it beautifully to Ikenna. What a pass! Ikenna looking to find the marker. Oh no! Oh no! Rangers. Fine playing with Austin. Austin back to Clement. Clement to Kenechukwago. Kenechukwago sends forward to Wobodo. Wobodo drafts in. Again, drives in from the left hand side and crosses the edge. No one there to connect with the ball. Wobodo has been playing so well from the left hand side. And a crossing. And Wobodo! Whoa, the chance! What a miss! To take the corner for Rangers. Takes beautifully well. An insurance keeper comes out to punch. Kenneth with the crossing and a mistake. Oh my word! Oh my word! Would there be anything out of this one? Crossing and a mistake. Oh my word! Oh my word! Would there be anything out of this one? Kenneth takes straight. This is the time! This is the...
Yes, welcome back from that video break from the MPFL. The last video, that game was between Rangers International and Bendel Insurance. That game was what gave Enugu Rangers the title of the 2023-2024 MPFL season. All right, still going ahead. We're in Europe. Let's look at another Super Eagles player. David Oku was saying we can actually get players for the Super Eagles. Maybe from those videos we'll just watch, we can pick 1 or 2 players for the Super Eagles who will do well. But let's go straight to Portugal right now, where Zaidu Sanusi, he was so fantastic for the Super Eagles of Nigeria during the 2023 Nations Cup in Cote d'Ivoire, playing from the left back, but he was injured and he couldn't take part in all of our games, friendly games, and the qualifiers. But now he's back with FC Porto. Another good news for the Super Eagles of Nigeria and for the 200 million people in this country.
Yes, it's a morale boosting news that one of our best players is back. You know, he's been consistent on that left hand side for club and for country too.
Yes, of
like
course.
you said, one of the top performers at the concluded AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. So it brings a downer for us when we do not have our best legs when we are going into crucial games. You saw not just Zaidu, Simon too at the time, Victor Osimhen, all injured. If you have your X factors, you go into game more confident that you can win a game.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, people tend to dismiss the fact that X factors, even if a team is not good and they have an X factor who is a striker, there's always a 50% or 60% chance that he could score and the team defends and sees out the win.
Yeah.
That's football for you. So not having a player like Victor Osimhen, it worries. It should be worrying for the coach, it should be worrying for the fans, and it should be worrying for journalists like me every time Nigeria goes into a game. Imagine Man United back then not having Ruud van Nistelrooy for a game. Think about that.
Okay, think about that. Congratulations to Zaidu Sanusi for coming back after that injury layoff. He was not there for the Super Eagles when we played all our friendly games against the Black Stars of Ghana and the Eagles of Mali, and then the World Cup qualifiers against the Bafana Bafana of South Africa and the Cheetahs of Benin Republic, where we didn't get the desired results. All right, let's still stay in Europe. This time around, we'll go straight to Euro 2024. There were games, the last round of 16 games yesterday to confirm the quarterfinal list, and it was a good one for the Orange team from the Netherlands, the Dutch side getting that maximum win. And also, Turkey continues to progress in Euro 2024. It was 3-0 against Romania for the Netherlands, and Turkey 2-1 against Demiral, scoring that second goal for the Turkish team, 2-1 against Austria in their own game. And the two teams, Netherlands and Turkey, made it to the quarterfinal. But let's look at this game quickly before we look at the quarterfinal pairings. For the Netherlands, after Austria actually shocked them to even top that group, but they still made it through to the round of 16. But now Austria is out. They are progressing to the quarterfinal.
It shows that was a shock, like you said. There was a meeting called very quickly to rectify things. Ronald Koeman held a session with the players. And, I believe that must have galvanized them to come into the game against Romania. Yes, a little bit of the cracks of their previous defeat showed in the first 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes against Romania, who were on top. But the Netherlands gradually began to
grew into the game.
Gain a foothold in the game and gain control. And we saw that culminating in that beautiful opening goal from Cody Gakpo. What a finish. And then in the second half, they just had to go out there and finish off the job in an impressive 3-0 victory over Romania.
What of Turkey? Austria.
Yeah, Turkey, Austria, great game. I was slightly disappointed in Austria. They failed to keep up that momentum and tempo against the Netherlands. And again, the lack of cutting edge in the final third for them has come back to bite them. Yes, they may have scored 3 goals against the Netherlands, but generally in the competition so far, they've been lackluster when they go into the final third. A game they lost against France, they shouldn't have lost that because they had a lot of the chances to score, but they couldn't. So, well, yes, good competition they've had. I don't think there's any reason for any Austrian person to feel down, after they were ousted by Turkey. Turkey progressed, but Austria would look back at the positives from this Euro 2024 and work better with that.
Now, let's have the quarterfinal pairings. Wonderful pairings, mouth-watering, exciting pairings. Now, let's quickly take one after the other before we look at other stories on the show. Spain, Germany, Portugal, France, England, Switzerland, Netherlands, Turkey. Big one.
Yeah, great pairings.
The first two pairings, Spain, Germany, Portugal, France, is
a blockbuster.
Yes, a blockbuster. But let's look at Spain, Germany, host against 2012 champions.
Yeah, looking at the Spanish side, they've continued to progress and be impressive. Yes, we had that Spanish side of 2008 and 2012, then in between 2010 when they won the World Cup in South Africa. I think that was a generation, there that led by Iniesta, Marcena, Xavi, and David Villa. Spain have struggled to replicate that over the years, but they gradually in this competition have seen some good signs, with the Spanish team. They are impressive, come from behind victory against Georgia, the 3-0 success in the group stage, the gain in their opening game. So it's quite good and impressive from them. Young players coming through in Yamal, I beg your pardon. So it's a sight to fear.
Yamal and Jamal. Yeah. We will see both of them. One in Germany,
one in Spain.
Spain.
So looking at Diamond Shafts now, the host, I don't think they've capitalized too much on home comfort. Germany have been good. They've had prospects. It's just that in the last few years, they've not reached that peak, getting knocked out in World Cups, even in the group stages, and underperforming in European Championship. I think now, if you look at the core of the team, you look at Neuer, you look at Rudiger in the back line, you look at Toni Kroos in the midfield with Gundogan, and you look at the attack, they have a promising guy in Kai Havertz, who now plays as an auxiliary striker and holds the ball well, and then full group coming from the bench, then flanked by vibrant players who had a great season with their respective club sides in Jamal Musiala and Florian Wirtz for Bayer Leverkusen, the Bayer Leverkusen guy. So if you look at that team, is a team that is a wall beater, is a team that is a machine. And I believe in this game against Spain, they would have to hold their own to stand any chance of going through, to the next round of the competition. Against Switzerland, Germany had struggled in that final group game. I expect them to struggle in spells against the Spaniard in terms of possession, but having Toni Kroos there, just takes a little bit of that sting out. He can control
little
the game.
passes, those edges.
Yes. So I think it's going to be a tough.
Okay, Portugal, France, a repeat of 2016 final.
France have always beaten Portugal, except for that final where we had that
in 2016.
Where we didn't expect the Portuguese to go on and do that. They finished, I think, third by best losers in their group with only 3 points.
Yes,
but went on to win the competition. Do we have that scenario here? Is there any team that finished with as little as 3 points here?
No,
I think France finished with 5 or 4.
Yes, of course.
So it's going to be a tough game. France have got the quality, they've got the stars, but France have been France under Didier Deschamps, and they do not change. They've played ugly, unattractive football, and have gone on to reach latter stages of competition. Sometimes they win it, like when they hosted the World Cup there. But now they've
when
had
they won
some
the World Cup in
impressive
2018.
Yeah, when Russia hosted the World Cup and when France won. But they've had good players, experienced players coming back. Kanté has been a revelation in the competition so far. And then Kylian Mbappe, is back. There's a Jules Koundé winning man of the player of the match, after games. So I think it's going to be a key. It's a tough one for me to call. But let's hope that the X factor for Portugal can always stand up, like the Bruno Fernandezes and the Cristiano Ronaldos of this world can do the job for them. Portugal over the years have had quality in almost all departments. There's a Joao Cancelo who is a great player. There's a Bernardo Silva who is a midfield maverick, coupled with Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes. I don't think Portugal have anything to fear. Okay,
Portugal don't have anything to fear. Those games will be coming up thick and fast. Portugal, France, Netherlands, Turkey, and then we'll see Spain against Germany, England, Switzerland. All right, let's go straight to Copa America. Also, the Copa America is ongoing. We had games earlier as of this morning, and Brazil have qualified despite playing that draw against Colombia. Costa Rica beat Paraguay 2-1 in Group D, and Brazil and Colombia played a 1-1. So also the Copa America is ongoing. For Brazil, they've qualified to the next round. Yeah. 2 draws and 1 win.
Nice one to see Brazil in the next round. I think it has the barest minimum required of the Selecao anytime they go into competitions. I think the Brazil team of this year cannot be compared in terms of the quality, panache, and the individuality of the players of yesteryear. Yes, Vinicius, Rodrigo, good players. But I think Brazil can only do themselves a favor by defying the critics and the odds to go on and win the competition. I think if you win competition, yes, people might say you were not as glamorous as compared to the teams of back in the day, but there is always something they can look at you bringing the trophy. Vinicius is a player that can change any game by the scruff of the neck. For me, he's one of the best players in the world and should be alongside Jude Bellingham and what's this other guy's name? Kylian Mbappe for the Ballon d'Or when the time comes. I think
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
The highest goal scorer in this year.
Cristiano Ronaldo, yes, would always be there, but when it comes to things that has to do with that trophy. Form. Yeah, no, present form, he's on form. Ronaldo is on form. But when it has to do with, Ballon d'Or, FIFA best, I believe a lot of other things can be, compared. Yeah, Messi may have won it because of that World Cup year and then what he has done previously. But I think there's a lot of things that has to do with it. But with Jude Bellingham producing magic and maverick on occasions, I think it will be very difficult to take out those moments and deny him. And of course, they have the English press too.
All right, the Copa America is a good one. All right, let's quickly run over the transfers. Let's just look at maybe 2 on the show before we go. Manchester United, Jadon Sancho is keen on Juventus move. This guy wants to leave Man U as soon as possible. And the next one, let's look at this. Real Madrid shows interest in Arsenal, William Saliba, and also still in Arsenal, the north side of London. Arsenal head in race for Bologna defender Riccardo Calafiori, who is a revelation for the Italians. Azzurri during the Euro 2024, they were knocked out by the Switzerland. And then the last one on the show this morning, Bayern Munich matches the legit wants Manchester United move. All right, that I will not allow you to react to that. That is where we'll be leaving it on the show, David.
Yeah, thank you very much
for joining me.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. If United want to win the league, they should go and sign top players who are top performers, top players in the forward position in midfield and other areas.
Okay, top players. We'll see what Manchester United would do. That is it on the show. 360 Sports this morning. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.